All right, now we've got part three, and part three is the toughest part in IELTS listening. Why toughest? Because there are 2 to 3 speakers, mostly two, sometimes three, who are talking. The context is educational, academic. Part 1 is social, part 2 is social, part 3 is academic, part 4 is also academic. Okay, so there is going to be an academic thing. Two students are discussing their project or anything like that. Paper means research paper on public libraries. Now, two students are going to discuss their research paper on public libraries. A public library like we have Qaid-e-Azam library, right? There is another one there. So, sorry? Darussalam library, exactly. Right? So, a public library where anyone can go and read books, newspaper, and all that. Question number 21. What will be the main topic? Underline main topic of Trudy and Stewart's paper. So main topic, what will be their main topic? Now Trudy and Stewart, they are two students who are going to discuss all that. So what will be the main topic? Option A, how public library services are organized in different countries. So how libraries organized, that's it, underline that, how library organized. So if their main topic is about organization of libraries, how they are organized, how they are maintained, A will be the right answer. See, option is long. Whenever there is a long option, try to underline minimum 2 and maximum 3 words so that you understand when the audio is going on. Option B, changes in society. Just underline changes in society. Now what are the changes in society? People don't read books anymore. People read electronic books. They want to read books on their tabs and all that, okay? So these are changes in society. And option C, funding of public library. Just underline funding. See, life is so easy. So long options, and we have, if they talk about money, where do they get funding, right? If the main topic is about money or funding or funds, then C will be the right answer. If the main topic is changes in society, people don't like to read books in physical form, that is B. And option A, how services are organized, then it will be that. Now you will see they will talk about 2 to 3 things, but with one option they will say that is going to be our main topic. So that will be the right answer.
OK, Stuart, we need to start planning our paper on public libraries. Have you thought of an angle yet?
Well, there's so much we could look into. How libraries have changed over the centuries, for instance, or how different countries organise them. What do you think, Trudy?
Maybe we should concentrate on this country and try and relate the changes in libraries to external developments, like the fact that far more people can read than a century ago, and that the local population may speak lots of different languages.
We could include something about changes in the source of funding too.
Yes, but remember we're only supposed to write a short paper, so it's probably best if we don't go into funding in any detail.
Right.
Okay. See, funding, they talked about it, but she said don't go into the detail. We have a short paper. See, if you focus wrong answer, if 2 wrong answers are gone, you will find the right answer. Okay, correct answer is B. Okay, I'll play it again. Just, we will focus all 3 options.
OK, Stuart, we need to start planning our paper on public libraries. Have you thought of an angle yet?
Well, there's so much we could look into. How libraries have changed over the centuries, for instance, or how different countries organise them.
How different countries organize them. It's a question. And whenever there is a question, if the answer is positive, that will be your answer. And if the answer is not positive or not sure, then you need to ignore that. How different countries organize their libraries.
Have changed over the centuries, for instance, or how different countries organise them. What do you think, Trudy?
Maybe we should concentrate on this.
Yeah, maybe we should concentrate. She's changed the topic, so A is wrong. She said maybe we should concentrate, means she's going to talk about something else. Now you know A is gone, so you will come to B and C.
Country and try and relate the changes in libraries to external developments.
Okay, changes to libraries in external developments. External developments are changes in society, right? And what are they?
like the fact that far more people can read than a century ago.
Okay, far more people can read than a century ago. Now, what is that? Changes in society. Okay?
Like the fact that far more people can read than a century ago. And that the local population may speak lots of different languages.
Okay, local population may speak lots of different languages. So these are changes in society. One change is a lot of people can read. Second, they can speak different languages. So these are changes in society. B is the right answer. Okay, now we see why C is wrong.
We could include something about changes in the source of funding too.
Okay, we could include something about, have you noticed one thing? Whatever the boy is saying, she's saying, Challe. Yeah, first he said A, organization, she said we should focus on. And now Bichara is going to talk about option C, and let's see what does she say.
Speak lots of different languages.
We could include something about changes in the source of funding too.
Yes, but remember we're only supposed to write a short paper.
Yes. So, but remember, we need to write a short paper, okay?
So it's probably best if we don't go into funding in any detail.
Okay,
Right.
but it's probably best that we don't go into funding in any detail. So, main topic. Funding is not main topic because they're not going to go into the detail. Again, I'm telling you, there are two ways to find the answer. One is you find the right answer. Second, you eliminate the wrong options. Now, for example, if you don't find the answer and you eliminate option A and option C, then you know rest one is option B and that will be your right answer. Okay. Question number 22. They agree that one disadvantage of free digitalized book. Now, underline agree, underline disadvantage, and then free book. Digitalized book is PDF. If you know that, we've got digitalized books. So what is one disadvantage? And they agree. For example, if I say PDF books are boring to read, and you say, well, I find them interesting, it means we don't agree. If I say digitalized books are old, and you say, no, I find all the recent books in digital form, so it means we don't agree. Where we agree, that will be the right answer. Now, one disadvantage where both speakers are going to agree will be the right answer. Wherever they disagree, I mean, I don't think so. I don't mean that, and that's going to be the wrong option. So let's see.
Well, shall we just brainstorm a few ideas to get started?
Okay. We obviously need to look at the impact of new technology, particularly the internet. Now that lots of books have been digitalised, people can access them from their own computers at home.
And if everyone did that, libraries would be obsolete.
Yes.
But the digitalised books that are available online for free are mostly out of copyright, aren't they? And copyright in this country lasts for 70 years after the author dies. So you won't find the latest bestseller or up-to-date information.
That's an important point. Anyway, I find it hard to concentrate when I'm reading a long text on a screen. I'd much rather read a physical book. And it takes longer to read on a screen.
Oh, I prefer it. I suppose it's just a personal preference.
Okay, the lady said it is difficult for me to read, and then she said it takes a long time, and the boy said, oh, I prefer it. I prefer it means I like it. They don't agree. So option B and option A, they don't agree. But option C, they are generally old. They said when the author dies after 70 years, then there is no more copyright. Right? The books of the authors who died 70 years ago, now there is no copyright on them. So they are generally old. Now this is according to the audio. Now we have latest books in PDF form available, right? But this is according to this audio. Now let's focus again, please.
I expect...
Well, shall we just brainstorm a few ideas to get started?
Okay. We obviously need to look at the impact of new technology, particularly the internet. Now that lots of books have been digitalised, people can access them from their own computers at home.
And if everyone did that, libraries would be obsolete.
Yes.
But the digitalised books that are available online for free are mostly out of copyright, aren't they? And copyright in this country lasts for 70 years after the author dies. So you won't find the latest bestseller or...
Okay, you won't find the latest bestseller. Won't means will not. You will not find the latest bestseller. They are generally old. Generally old and will not find the latest bestseller. And what does she say?
Or up-to-date information.
Or up-to-date information.
That's an important point.
That's an important point means they agree. They will not use the word, yes, I agree. You say, agree, okay, C is the right. They say, that's an important point, or you are right, or you are absolutely right, okay? So correct answer is C. Now, option B and A.
Anyway, I find it hard to concentrate when I'm reading a long text on a screen.
I find it hard to concentrate long text on the screen. That is, they can be difficult to read.
I'd much rather read a physical book. And it takes longer to read on a screen.
It takes longer to read on a screen. Now, you need to listen to the boy. If he agrees, then it is the right answer, otherwise not.
Oh, I prefer it.
Oh, I prefer it. I prefer it means they don't agree on these 2 points, okay? All right, let's go on. Next, we've got question number 23. Stewart expects that in future libraries will. Now, what will happen to libraries in future? And they mentioned Stewart expects. So you're going to listen to Stewart carefully. Option A, maintain their traditional function. So underline maintain traditional function. What is the traditional function? You go to the library, there are books and books, thousands of books. So if in the future, libraries will maintain their traditional function, that there will be books there, A is the right answer. Option B, become centers for local communities. Like people of local community will come, they will have tea, coffee, they will read a book, newspaper. So if libraries will become a local community center, then B will be the right answer. And option C, no longer contain any books. If he says in the future in the libraries there will not be any books, or books will vanish from the libraries, there will be only computers and tablets and all that. So let's see, what do they say? Future function of libraries.
I expect the libraries will go on evolving in the next few years. Some have already become centres where community activities take place, like local clubs meeting there. I think that'll become even more common.
I'd like to think so. And that they'll still be serving their traditional function, but I'm not so sure. There are financial implications after all. What I'm afraid will happen is that books and magazines will all disappear and there'll just be rows and rows of computers. They won't look anything like the libraries we're used to.
Well, we'll see.
Okay. Books and magazines will disappear and there will be rows and rows of computers. So option C, no longer contain any books. Right? For no longer contain books means books and magazines will disappear. Disappear means they will not be there, and rows of computer. C is the right answer. Question number 24 to 30, write one word only for each answer. Now there is no number and only one word. Study of local library, possible questions. Whether it has, what do they mean by it? Yes, it means library. Okay, so whether it has a dash of its own, whether library has dash of its own, right? Let's see what of its own. And by the way, for its own, for example, answer is Wi-Fi. Library has its own Wi-Fi, or library's Wi-Fi. Library's apostrophe S, right? Library's Wi-Fi.
I've just had an idea. Why don't we make an in-depth study of our local public library as background to our paper?
Yes, that'd be interesting, and raise all sorts of issues. Let's make a list of possible things we could ask about, then work out some sort of structure. For instance, we could interview some of the staff and find out whether the library has its own budget or if that's controlled by the local council.
And what their policies are.
Okay, library has its own budget. Library has its own budget. So whether it has a budget of its own budget of its own, right? So B-U-D-G-E-T. Well done. Very good. Next, they're talking about noise of various kinds. So noise, but there is no question. Underline the word noise, and when they talk about it, you should know that. How it is affected. It means libraries. How libraries are affected by laws regarding all aspects of. Now, laws of what? For example, traffic laws. As we talk about traffic, so there can be traffic laws. So laws regarding all aspects of dash. Okay, so what type of laws? That will be your answer.
Then there are things like how the library is affected by employment laws. I suppose there are rules about working hours, facilities for staff and so on.
Okay,
Right.
how libraries are affected by employment laws. So regarding laws regarding all aspects of employment, and for that they simply use the word employment laws. This is what they do in IELTS. I mean, if they only write laws and then you have to write the word employment, you can easily find the answer. But they've written by laws regarding all aspects of dash. So all aspects of employment, that means employment laws. If I say laws regarding all aspects of traffic, so that is traffic laws. Very simple. But you know, I mean, this makes it complicated and they do it deliberately. All right, let's go on. Question number 26. How design needs to take the dash of customers into account. Design of what? Design of library. So design of library needs to take the dash of customers into account. For example, design of library needs to take the security of customers into account. For that they will use the word customer security, user security, security of the people who come there, anything like that, okay?
Then there are things like
Then there are other issues relating to the design of the building and how customers use it, like what measures does the library take to ensure their safety? They'd need floor coverings that aren't slippery, and emergency exits, for instance.
Okay, floors which are not slippery and emergency exit, and before that they use the word safety. Safety is the right answer. Okay, see, they consider everything. And over here, if anyone slips on the floor, say hee. Right? We say you walk carefully. All right, let's go on. Question number 27. What dash is required in case of accident? By the way, in case of accident, you require treatment. In case of accident, you require... All right, let's see. I play the audio, okay?
Oh, and another thing, there's the question of the kind of insurance the library needs to have in case anyone gets injured.
yes, that's something else to find out.
Okay, in case anyone gets injured, the type of insurance. Like if you are injured in the library, they will pay you for that, right? It doesn't mean utthe jaake apna sir paad lo, that they're going to give me money. Okay, so that is insurance. Question number 28. Why a famous person's dash is located in the library? Maybe statue, famous person's statue, famous person's poster, picture in the library. Okay, so famous person's dash.
You know something I've often wondered?
What's that?
Well, you know they've got an archive of local newspapers going back years. Well, next to it, they've got the diary of a well-known politician from the late 19th century.
Diary of a well-known politician from late 19th century. So, famous person's diary. Diary of a well-known politician. So, for well-known politician, they use the word famous person. And diary, D-I or D-A? D-I-E, D-I-A-R-Y. Very good. And other one is dairy. D-A-I-R-Y, dairy. Yeah, diary. Okay, let's go on. Question number 29. Whether it means library has a dash of local organizations. Library has something of local organizations. Now it's the age of internet and all that. But in the past, if you wanted to get the address of any organization, you could go to library. And they had, if you remember, what do we call in the old times, telephone directory. Directory of organizations, and you can check the number and all that. But now everything is just a click away. So let's see. It has a dash of local organizations.
I wonder why it's there. Do you know what his connection was with this area?
No idea. Let's add it to our list of things to find out. Oh, I've just thought, you know, people might ask in the library about local organisations like sports clubs. Well, I wonder if they keep a database or whether they just look online.
Right.
Database. Whether it has a database of local organizations. Listen again.
I wonder why it's there. Do you know what his connection was with this area?
No idea. Let's add it to our list of things to find out. Oh, I've just thought, you know, people might ask in the library about local organisations like sports clubs. Well, I wonder if they keep a database or whether they just look online.
Right.
Okay, so database of local organizations. How it is different from a library in a. Now see, there are libraries in the city center. Sometimes there are libraries in the parks, like we have this Lawrence Garden, and there is Qaid Azam Library. Sometimes there is a library in the university. You will find libraries there. Sometimes you will find libraries in different locations. So they say how it is different from a library in a. In a means location. Location of a library. For example, how it is different from a library in a garden, library in a university, library in a something. So answer is location.
I quite fancy finding out what the differences are between a library that's open to the public and one that's part of a museum, for example. They must be very different.
Then something else I'd like to know is...
Okay, in a museum. Very good. And how do you spell museum? M-U-S-E-U-M. Exactly. You should know the basic vocabulary.